I bet we can agree that when interviewing job candidates, some mistakes are bigger than others. And I just watched a biggie. I just got back to the office. I had to tell you about it because this is easily avoidable, and this is how you do it. Hi, I'm Scott Wintrip, the author of High Velocity Hiring, and that mistake, well, it's vomit. This interviewer vomited on the candidate. Now, I'm not talking the blowing chunks kind. That would be gross. I'm talking about the spewing words version. She did the verbal vomit on this candidate, and the candidate said, "See ya." More on that in a minute. Here's what happened. Interview going well. We get to the Q&A portion, and up to this point, the candidate's very engaged, excited. And so the candidate can now ask questions. The candidate asks a question, and the interviewer spews forth a 3-minute response. And the candidate just kind of sunk in her seat and kind of rolled her eyes. And then she asked another question, and the same thing happened, another 3-minute response, and now the candidate's disengaged. She asked one more question, and another 3-minute response, and that was it. I could see there were more questions on the sheet, but the candidate gave up. I caught up with the candidate in the hallway, and I said, "Hey, I'm an observer. This is a new client of mine. What happened in there?" She said, "This is not for me." I said, "Why is that?" She just went, "Seriously? Would you want to work for her every day? Deal with that long-winded blowhard?" Ouch. Long-winded blowhard. This was my first day observing this high-level executive. And she's a long-winded blowhard. And she was in those answers. Wow. This is the verbal vomit. And how you avoid it, and this is what I told my client, you avoid it by 2 numbers. Remember these numbers, 9 and 30. Those are seconds. So 9 seconds. In the first 9 seconds, you must answer the question. And it has to be contained in those first 9 seconds. Why? Because many people start to tune out after 9 seconds. So even if they do, they've heard the answer. Now here's what's cool. If you have the answer in the first 9 seconds, it's actually more engaging. More people will pay attention beyond that if more detail is required. And if more detail is required, don't go over 30. Commercials are 30 seconds for a reason. And we've been conditioned by watching tens of thousands of commercials each year to pay attention for about 30 seconds, if it's interesting. And that's the key. If you answer the question in the first 9 seconds, not only will they hear the answer, it's more interesting. And if more detail is required, and only if it's required, can you go up to 30 seconds. So don't do the verbal vomit. That's gross. Not as gross as the other kind, but gross. And top talent have choices. They're not going to choose you if you're that long-winded blowhard leader who spews forth lots of words over them, because they're going to think, well, this is what it's going to be like every workday. Be the confident leader who answers concisely. And that's what you do in 9 seconds with the initial answer and 30 seconds max if needed. How do you get good at this? Practice. And I've got another video on that. Watch the video on the 3 steps you can take to be a better interviewer. That combined with this, those 2 things alone will make you much better at what you do. Hope this was helpful. Good luck. Don't be a verbal vomiter. And if this has been helpful, please share it with your colleagues and your friends. Take care now.